What is going on, everybody? Anon here. And it's been a while since we've looked at relative value of Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. And it's actually been about 2 months. And here, obviously, I hid some of the August dates that we did this in, but I haven't done it in a little bit because the market's been all over the place. And now that the market seemed to settle a little bit, I figured it's probably time to take a look at this again. So as a reminder, we have the age of the boxes here, because we effectively really just show the blended age of each block, the box price, the set value, and the relative value. And again, this is just a simple, the value of the box divided by the value of the cards in the set. And quite honestly, the value of the cards in the set are a very good indicator of what the price of the box is going to track to, over a longer period of time. And there's obviously other factors here. You look at Sword and Shield base and Rebel Clash, the value of the cards in the set are garbage, but the boxes themselves are rare, so they traded a premium to the set value. So it's imperfect, but it's the best we have. So let's walk through this. So I added Mega Evolutions one, just so we have a starting point. And the box price is at $268, 7% price to value. The box price is going to go up over $300. We just had the second wave come out. And I also think that the set value is going to come down at some point in time. Most likely it's going to come down to something approaching Destined Rivals. When Destined came out, I think the price, the value of the cards in the set was somewhere around $3,500. So it will come down over time. And we do have a lot of EX boxes coming out for Mega Evolutions. So while it's not going to impact the box price, it is going to start to have a negative impact on the value of the individual cards. And one thing I added this time that I didn't have before is this is effectively the change in box price from, again, July 26th to October 28th, but also the set value. And here, this is basically the imbalance between, if it's positive, the value of the boxes went up more than the value of the cards in the set. And if it's negative, the value of the cards in the set went up more than the value of the box price. So generally speaking here, Surging Sparks, for example, there have been multiple reprints over this period of time. So the box prices really stayed a little bit suppressed, but the value of the cards in the set have really bottomed and started to move up a little bit. So this is kind of interesting. But as we go through this, I really want to focus on the price divided by the value of the cards in the set, because it's an easy way where I can identify the sets that are undervalued versus the sets that are overvalued. And again, it's an imperfect science, but it is a baseline of something to go on. So let's start at the beginning of Sword and Shield. So you have the first four sets here. Sword and Shield base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze. The boxes are all either at or above the set value just based on rarity. Vivid Voltage, it's getting a little toppy. And quite honestly, the box has moved up quite a bit along with Battle Styles. But Vivid Voltage, the cards are kind of garbage. So not a whole lot of value here. Quite honestly, I think Battle Styles has a lot of value at 35%, and the cards are at $800. And one of the things we've really started to see with Sword and Shield is not only are the main chase cards in the sets moving up, but a lot of the second, third, and beyond chase cards have started to move, especially things like you have some of the trainer galleries with cards moving up. Silver Tempest, I think it's the Rayquaza, is up over $100 now. For the longest time, it was the Lugia Alt Art or Bust. So the ancillary chase cards are really starting to move strong. And I think when you look at Scarlet and Violet, 2-3 years from now, you're going to see the same with like your Paradox Rifts, your Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade, and they're going to become a much higher quality of set than they are now, because people haven't really paid a whole lot of attention. And when you see a set that doesn't have that main chase card, but there's 5 or 6 or 7 cards that are all kind of changing pole position, if you will, it just means the set has a lot of depth. And again, you have the Greninja and Twilight Masquerade, which is most likely always going to be chase, but there's a lot of other nice cards in those sets that are going to push up over time. So Chilling Reign is still at 32%. The value of the cards in the set here are really insane compared to the price of the box. Same with Evolving Skies. Now, what's interesting is the value of the cards is up almost $2,000 from $5,000 to $7,000 in this 90-day period, but the box price is only up $250. So, the box price is probably getting to the point where it's undervalued. You're at 45% back in July. You're at 36% now, but you're also starting to run into the problem. We're at $2,500 a box. The total number of potential buyers really starts to fall off a cliff and dry up. And that's the problem as these boxes get more expensive. Fusion Strike, 51%. It's toppy. Brilliant Astral, 36 and 38. They're becoming a little bit more undervalued. And again, that's not because the boxes have moved a lot. They've moved a little bit, obviously. But the ancillary chase cards are really starting to move up and strengthen. Lost Origin, 54%. But then you get to Silver Tempest. Silver Tempest, it was at 44. Now it's at 40 in spite of the box going from 375 to 478. And again, that's because the singles in the set went from $850 to $1,200, which is an astronomical move. And yeah, the Lugia V is up $150, $200 over this period of time. But the rest of the set is up another $200 just for the ancillary chase cards, which, I think Silver Tempest is, in my opinion, is the biggest sleeper in Sword and Shield because it was out there the longest. People still think of it as there's a shitload of it in the market, and there's a shitload of all this. But if you want to grab it, it's time, in my opinion. SV Base, 39%. The boxes are cheaper than anything else in Scarlet Violet. So this is probably still a buy, even though the cards themselves are $611. Paldea Evolved. This is a weird one because you take the Magikarp out, it's an okay set. You're basically Paradox and Temporal, and I'm gonna get people saying that's bullshit, whatever. But it is. You take the Magikarp out, it's an average Scarlet and Violet set, but it's still 32%. So it is fairly undervalued here. Obsidian, I wouldn't touch with anybody's money at this point. It's fully valued and then some. The Paradox, 29%. The cards are up over $900. You're still at $268 per box. This is really a function of there being a bunch of Paradox ripped out of the market. And for those of you who don't know, there was a massive reprint of Paradox back in September, October of 2024. And that product was sitting on shelves for a while, and it's still working through the system. Otherwise, this would be a $400 box at this point. Temporal, 280. This has been making a nice methodical move up. $824 of the cards in the set. And this is a perfect example where the main chase card keeps changing. It's changed like 2 or 3 times now, maybe even 4 times. So this is a fascinating set to look at because it does have a lot of depth. And even though it doesn't have that main multiple $100 chase card, I would argue that there is less temporal forces from a booster box perspective and probably all ancillary products than there are of any other set in Scarlet and Violet. Twilight Masquerade, 27% again, undervalued. Stellar Crown is fully valued at this point. I certainly would not buy it here. Again, there's not a lot of this out here. I would argue Stellar Crown is probably 1B behind Temporal Forces when it comes to the lowest print run in Scarlet Violet, and I don't think it's going to get any more. Surging Sparks, 20%. The boxes have been stagnant because of the reprints. The cards have started to push up again. It's going to be interesting to see if we see another reprint of Surging Sparks or if they move forward and they just hammer Destin, Mega 1, Mega 2, and all the sets out beyond here. Because they've obviously been hammering Prismatic Evolutions. I think we have at least 3 different reprint waves of Surging. At some point, this box at $250 becomes a very compelling buy. And again, you see the box price is up 3.7% in the last 90 days, but the actual cards in the set are up 14.5%, which is which is really fascinating. Journey together, 41%. Yeah, the card value in this set, I would have expected to be a little bit higher. There are some cool chase cards in here. Unfortunately, the box price at $257. This is just price memory. Yeah, it opened around here when the set dropped, so it's kind of round trip down to 200, back up to 257. Not much to see here. Not really a set that needs a reprint of anything. I know there's some packs coming to market from some of the EX boxes, but not much else. Destined Rivals, I wouldn't touch this. It's a powder keg, just waiting for more product to get dumped on the market. And every EX box coming out has Destined and Mega Evolutions. And Mega, I mean, until there's more of it, it's going to move up. It is what it is. And we probably have 4 months before we see any meaningful reprint of these cards. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. I want to walk through this again. Feel free to pause the video, look at the different sets. Anything, the lower the percentage, the better relative value it is. And again, the newer sets always trade a significant discount to the rest of the sets because the singles are inflated and the booster box price is artificially suppressed because there is so much supply in the market. So anyway, guys, have a great night. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and we'll talk tomorrow.